Hello everyone, welcome to Sharmit. In the last session, we discussed about what is template driven form in theoretical terms, right? But from this session, we are going to start with the practical demos where one by one we will perform some operation to understand the different ways to create the template driven forms. Okay, and in this particular session, mainly we are going to talk about a form which will help us to take a simple input using ngModel as a template driven form. Okay, so by the end of this session you will be able to understand how to use ngModel and what are the steps or structure that we are supposed to follow in order to create the first template driven form. But before we proceed further with this session, I would like to recommend you to please go and check out the previously released sessions first, because they all are in proper sequence and sync. So if you follow it sequentially, then it would be much more easier for you to understand the ongoing topic, because for time being we are just mainly focusing on how to create template driven form. But prior to that, you should know what is template driven form and the other basic things related to Angular. And for these all sequential content, you can refer the Sharmit digital course book, which is freely available in the description box. So from there you can take a reference and you can try to implement the things, because there are more than 3000 plus free resources available in both Hindi as well as English language. So as per your convenience, you can use the content. Okay, alright, so now let's get started. Here you can see I have the simple application where I didn't added any separate components or anything. This is my default component, which is app component, and here currently I'm in this app.component.html file. Now in this app.component.html file, we have noted down one primary heading, that is Angular course by Sharmit. Okay, and then we have the secondary heading where we are although both are h1, but you can say that this heading is helping us to understand the topic that we are going to cover today. So today's topic is template driven form example, where simple input form using ngModel. So here we are going to create a simple input form using ngModel. Okay, so I think this part is clear. Now what we will do, I'll explain you the requirement. So requirement is in this way, we want to create an application where I want to accept one field as a username. So I want that user can open my website and just put their name, and once username is inserted by the user in the input field, once user key in the name, at the same time I want to update it into one variable which is present in my component file. So you can say that I just want to store that name in variable, and from there I just want to print it here again. Okay, now to perform this thing, I think requirement is clear that one input field would be there where user will key in the name, and then it should be updated on the app.component.ts file. Okay, now to perform this example, what we will do, firstly I will create one div here so that everything will be in a proper format. So here I will write div. Inside this div I will write first label, and in this label you can write like this, enter your name. Okay, enter your name. And after this label we will create one input field which will help us to accept the input. So here I will write input, and in this input firstly I will write here text, not text, here we will write type, and type as text. Okay, now after this what we will do, we will use here ngModel. Now what is this ngModel? So ngModel like it is the thing that will help us to capture and sync the data. But before we use it, let me show you one important thing. Like currently in app.component.ts file we haven't imported anything, right? But to use this ngModel, forms module should be imported. So we have two ways. Either I can directly write it here, forms module, and press enter. So you can see it imported this line here as well. Okay, so either you can write here directly, or another way is, let me clear it from here. Now directly go to app.component.html, and here you can write something like this, square brackets inside this parenthesis, and then we will write here ngModel. But remember one thing, let me write it again. So you just need to write like this, ngModel. Square bracket, inside this we will write parenthesis, then we will write ngModel. Okay, I think it is not showing me the output, not sure why, but fine. But usually what happens, like when we type something like this here, so it will automatically suggest me, it will give me the option. Let me try after writing. No, it is not showing me option, but fine. When you see any option that it is suggesting ngModel, then you can press enter and it will automatically import it in your component file. Okay, so for now what I will do, I will import it by my own, because right now you can see it is showing error because it does not exist. So go to app.component.ts file. Here you can simply write forms module. So it is imported here. Now you can see in HTML file, if we write it further, okay, so you can write something like this. Now error is removed. Why? Because it finds the forms module, and if forms module is imported, then it is fine. Okay, and here I attached it with one variable, but this variable is not declared yet. So what we will do, we will go to app.component.ts file again, and here in the app class we will define one variable to store the data. So here I will give it a name as username, and type would be string, and then we will write here, we'll assign it as a blank. Perfect. So this username is stored. Now you can see in this location, type is text, ngModel is showing attached with username, and then you can add one more thing here, that is name. So these are some basic thing, I'm sure you know about it. So we just added this name so that later if we need it, we can use it. Okay, all right, so this input thing is done. Now let's try to run the application. So here I will write ngserve -open, enter. Just wait for a few seconds and it will show you the output. So you can see, firstly it is showing the primary heading, that is Angular course by Sharmit. Then we have secondary heading that shows template driven form example, simple input form using ngModel. And after that we have this label that shows enter your name and one input field. So here let's say if I write my name as Amit, it will take, and if I write it Sharmit, it is taking it. But how we will verify whether it is stored in that variable or not? So to verify it, what we will do, we will simply create one more label here, and in this label we will write name entered by the user. Okay, name entered by the user, then colon, and here we will use double curly braces and simply write username. Perfect. So this thing is ready. Now you can see, okay, we need it is coming in the same line, so let's add one br tag here so that it add break line. Fine. Okay, so now if I write the name here, you can see it is automatically synchronizing it with the variable, and that is the whole sole purpose of using the ngModel, because now whenever we are writing the data, it is automatically storing it into the variable, and from there you can make sure that yes, it is reflecting at the same time, at the real time. Okay, if I change the name to something else, it will accept it in that way also. Okay, so this is the overall simplest example I created. You can consider it as a first example for the template driven form, where we created one input field. And the important thing here to note is we should use ngModel, but prior to that you should import it here in component file as forms module, because if forms module is not imported, it won't work. Okay, so make sure that forms module is imported here. Second important thing, you are going to store it into one variable. You are assigning it one variable, so make sure to go and put the variable declaration here in the class. Okay, and once you have put this thing, then you are good to go and use this thing here in the application. Okay, so I hope this entire session is clear to all of you. Still, if you have any question, concern, or anything related to the session or maybe playlist, you can simply reach out to me through comment section. I would be more than happy to answer all your questions and implement the suggested feedback. Okay, so yeah, see you in the next session with new topics. So thank you for watching TypeScript.